Good evening, everyone. Welcome to tonight's meeting. I'm going to call the meeting to order, and we will start with introductions, starting with our clerks.
Good evening. I am Christine Smith, Clerk to the Board. Welcome.
Good evening. I'm Marlissa Easton, Deputy Clerk to the Board.
Good evening and welcome. My name is Yvette Townsend Ingram. I serve you at large on County Commission. I'm also known as Commissioner Whitey.
Good evening. I am Commissioner Elaine Powell, representing North Mecklenburg, Huntersville, Davidson, Cornelius, and North Charlotte. Welcome.
Good evening. I'm George Dunlap, elected by the people of District 3. Thank you for joining us.
Good evening and welcome. My name is Lee Altman. I serve at large and also have the privilege of serving as Vice Chair.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome. We've got a good-looking group out there tonight. My name is Mark Jarrell. I've been elected by the people of District 4. I also have the honor of serving as Chair of the Board.
Good evening and welcome. My name is Arthur Griffin, and I have the pleasure of serving as County Commissioner at large.
Good afternoon. My name is Vilma D. Leak, and I represent the most powerful people in the district. That's District 2. Well, all young people stand up. Trick question. So the rest of us are old. Thank you, baby. Because some people up here resent old people.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Susan Rodriguez McDowell, and I have the honor of being elected by the people of District 6.
Good evening and welcome. I'm Mike Bryant, Mecklenburg County Manager.
Good evening, Tyrone Wade, County Attorney.
All right, tonight, our invocation and Pledge of Allegiance will be led by Commissioner Rodriguez McDowell.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just want to invite everyone to sort of take a moment of quiet the noise that we have inside of us and the noise that is all around us. The noise is louder than it's ever been. Center ourselves in our work, and I'm just going to have a few moments of silence. Let's remember the people that we're all working for. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Before we move to our first agenda item, there's one thing that I want to do, and I've started doing this. I want to make sure that the public and anybody who's watching is clear on our vision, our mission, and our board priorities. So our vision is as follows. Mecklenburg County will be a community of pride and choice for people to live, learn, work, and recreate. Our mission, to serve Mecklenburg County residents by helping improve their lives and community. Our board priorities for FY 26-27 are as follows: economic development, education, environmental stewardship, health equity and wellness, services for seniors, workforce development, and reducing racial disparities. So those of you who are just joining us, our conversations will be guided by the mission, the vision, and our priorities. At this time, I'll turn the gavel over to our Vice Chair, Commissioner Altman, to lead us through awards and recognition.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And at this time, I call on Commissioner YTI.
Thank you, Madam Vice Chair. It's my pleasure to read this proclamation. I sit on the Domestic Violence the Domestic Violence Prevention Abuse Board. And so it is my pleasure to read this proclamation.
And excuse me, I'm so sorry, before you begin, my mistake. Could I please call down to the podium the chair of the Domestic Violence Board Advisory Board, Chair Tanisha Patterson-Poe, to receive the proclamation, and other members who would like to come to the podium to share remarks and take the picture. And thank you again.
Absolutely. guys all come down.
Come on down.
Appreciate all of your work and your service. It's important work.
Lee says I'm coming down, or is Childers? Staff. That's okay. That's okay.
We have a big group tonight.
All right.
You get
You all,
behind the
you all
speaker.
can go up.
Behind the speaker.
Yeah. Sure. You can just circle all around, keep following. There you go.
Thank God. All right. Mecklenburg County, North Carolina proclamation. Whereas intimate partner domestic violence is a pattern of abusive behavior used by one partner to maintain power and control over another, IPV, as it's called, is a serious and pervasive issue affecting people of every race, age, gender, socioeconomic background, education level, and income bracket, and taking many forms, including physical, sexual, verbal, emotional, psychological, technological, and financial abuse. And whereas the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Police Department reported 11 IPV-related homicides in 2024 compared with 6 in 2023 and 2 in 2022, national statistics show that more than 1 in 3 women and 1 in 4 men experience intimate partner abuse in their lifetime, underscoring the urgency of continued prevention efforts and comprehensive support for victims and survivors. And whereas these statistics represent only a fraction of reported IPV incidents, many individuals in our community experience the hidden and unreported impacts of IPV, often suffering in silence without access to the resources, support, or safety they need. And in children, it's called adult childhood experiences, or ACEs. Whereas intimate partner violence includes willful patterns of behavior meant to intimidate, manipulate, humiliate, isolate, frighten, terrorize, coerce, threaten, blame, hurt, injure, or wound another person. IPV is long-term and far-reaching, with profound implications for public health and safety, economic stability, child development, mental health, and the perpetuation of generational cycle of abuses. And whereas communities nationwide recognize Domestic Violence Awareness Month in October and an addition of a dedicated Domestic Violence Survivors Day creates a unique opportunity to recognize, honor, and celebrate the courage of victims and survivors. During Domestic Violence Awareness Month and beyond, we reaffirm our commitment to ending IPV and supporting those affected by abuse. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Mecklenburg Board of County Commissioners does hereby proclaim October 2025 and October 12, 2025, respectively, as Domestic Violence Awareness Month and Domestic Violence Survivors Day in Mecklenburg County, and encourages all residents to join in honoring survivors, supporting victims, and committing to a future free of IPV. The second annual Domestic Violence Empowerment Walk, organized by survivor Shantae Cotton in partnership with Mecklenburg County Support Services, will be held on Sunday, October 12th, 2025 at 1:30 p.m. at Pineville Lake Park. This important event seeks to honor lives lost to intimate partner violence, IPV, empower survivors, and recognize the resilience and strength while raising awareness about the ongoing needs and challenges faced by individuals and families in our community. Witness my hand and the official seal of Mecklenburg County dated this 7th day of October 2025, Mark D. Jarrell, Mecklenburg Board of County Commissioners. So moved.
Second.
Having been moved and properly seconded, I think tonight, let's first hear from our guests, and then we'll hear from colleagues on the dais.
Absolutely, thank you. Good evening to the esteemed members of the Charlotte-Mecklenburg County of Commissioners, our fellow advocates, and community members. My name is Tia Patterson-Poe, and I am the Domestic Violence Advisory Board Chair. I stand before you today with gratitude as we come together to recognize Domestic Violence Awareness Month and Survivors Day. It is an honor to accept the proclamation on behalf of the Domestic Violence Advisory Board, and I want to thank the board for shining a light on this critical issue in our community. I stand here today with current members of our board as well as members in the community representing other nonprofit organizations. Domestic violence is a pervasive problem that affects individuals and families across the community, transcending age, race, socioeconomic status. It thrives in silence, often hidden behind closed doors, and the consequences can be devastating. Today is a reminder of our continuous effort to break that silence. This proclamation serves not only as a symbol of our commitment to raising awareness, but also a call to action. It reminds us that we must stand together to support survivors, educate our community, and advocate for systemic change. Every person deserves to live free from fear and violence, and it is our responsibility to ensure they have the resources and the support they need to escape abusive situations. During this month, we are engaged in various activities, as you've heard Commissioner YTI mention. Among those activities, for those that's listening online and those that are here in the room, we do invite you all to log in online and learn more about the activities that you can participate in this month. I'll close by saying that let us remember that awareness is just the beginning. Together, we can create a culture in Charlotte of zero tolerance for domestic violence. Together, we can empower survivors to reclaim their lives and advocate for policies that protect and support them. I do want to thank all of you for your time, for your kind words, your support, and thank all of you that's standing behind me for all of your support as well for this great work that we're doing in the community. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. Would any colleagues like to be heard? Commissioner Rodriguez-McDowell?
Thank you. So, Tia, thank you so much for the leadership that you have been providing this advisory board for years now. And I know that, it takes more than just one person, but I really want to say I appreciate the leadership that you've been providing. And I always have to shout out Elise Hamilton Childers for her work, because she has been she has been y'all's sort of glue, I think, for all this time. So thank you all for what you do. I will see you at Pineville Lake Park for the walk this Sunday. Thanks.
Thank you.
Commissioner Leek?
Let me again say thank you for coming and making the awareness in this community of not just physical problems that we suffer, but we suffer because of who we are and how we look sometimes. And I want to say to teenagers who suffer the wrath of young boys who've taken advantage of them and taken advantage of their weaknesses. So I hope that you will reach out to the young people in the school system and throughout the community, because of the violence we actually see and hear in this community today. So your job is hard. It's difficult. If you're a mother, if you have experienced any of this, you know what I'm talking about. And those of us who have experienced rejection, that's a part of violence. And saying things that should not be said to us as women. So I needed to say this because it's a major issue and it's a major problem with some men dealing with women. And women dealing with men. I'm sorry, did the bell ring?
Thank you, yes.
I have more to say later.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Sick of it.
Commissioner Powell?
Thank you. Thank you for your important work. There's some work that is so hard. I was talking about a different advisory board earlier, and yours is so hard, but it's so important. And we do have resources available that I think a lot of people don't know about. My background is healthcare, so I've seen people go back without, I mean, shocking to me that they went back. But it was really profound when Commissioner YTI was reading the proclamation. And I wrote it down because it's so profound. The words, like that someone would willfully have a pattern of behaviors to intimidate, manipulate, humiliate, isolate, frighten, terrorize, coerce, threaten, blame, hurt, injure, or wound, and then give you a bouquet of flowers and you forget it. Thank you for your work.
Commissioner YTI.
I just want to say thank you again. Serving on this advisory board is an honor, and it shows me every day, demonstrates to me, like, nobody, I see you, we see you. The work that you do, not just on the once a month meetings, but the work you do behind the scenes, men and women. I want to thank the men who are there as well. I think that we've become so desensitized, particularly with the bullying and the intimidation and things like that, and people don't think that's violent, but that fear, that mental intimidation can keep you coming back, keep you constrained in ways that other people just can't relate to until you walk a mile in somebody else's shoes. So thank you, all of you, for what you do, and I will support you as long as I can. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. The motion having been made and properly seconded, all those in favor, please raise your right hand. And that is unanimous. Would you like to come down for a picture and to get the proclamation and shake hands?
Yes, please.
She gets to come too.
Did we do this in?
No, ma'am, come this way.
You're really good at proclamations. The first time. Just spoke to me.
Just start right there. There you go.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Oh. Power handshake.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
Lady, how are you?
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. It's important work.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Hey, good to see you.
For doing the hard work.
I'm good. Thank you so much.
I am your person.
You're awesome. Appreciate you. What you do. I know
Thank you
what
so
you
much
do.
for being here. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for what you do.
Thank you so much for being here. Thank you. Hello, thank you for being here.
Good to see you, always.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hey, thank you. Am I going to see you on Sunday?
So much.
All right.
Lise, come down.
Nice to see you again. See you on Sunday. All right.
That's probably fine too.
George?
I'm trying not to get behind his head.
Yeah, right.
Scooch
Come on,
closer to me.
let me move over.
Scooch closer to me.
There we go.
Okay, we're good.
Good.
Right, thank you, right. Step in, right.
Thank you.
Now, you gotta get his.
Thank you.
You got it.
At this time, I will return the gavel back to the chairman.
Thank you, Madam Vice Chair. At this time, what we're going to do is we need to take up an item that we took up during the dinner meeting. And so the purpose of this agenda item is to discuss the FY26 work and performance plan and performance evaluation process for County Manager Michael Bryant. The Chair of the Performance Review Committee, Vice Chair Lee Altman, will provide an update on the committee's recommendations.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The County Commissioners Performance Review Committee convened on September 3rd to review a proposed FY26 work and performance plan and to discuss the performance evaluation process for County Manager Bryant. Committee members in attendance included myself, Commissioner Powell, and Commissioner Griffin, and Commissioner SRM and YTI were also in attendance, for which we are very grateful. The committee voted unanimously to recommend to the full board that the board approve the county manager bringing forward a new performance review process in FY27 to align with his organizational reset plan and balanced scorecard, and approve the county manager's submitted FY26 work and performance plan as amended. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. At this time, I'll turn to County Manager Bryant to see if you have any comments.
Thank you. As I said in the back, again, I want to thank the full board for your support, for allowing me some additional time to reset the organization and place some initiatives that I'm currently working on in place, and then come back next year with a revised proposed process for evaluation along with my work plan. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Manager. Is there a motion to
So
approve?
moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any unreadiness? Hearing none, all those in favor say, well, I'm sorry, there is an unreadiness? Commissioner
Yes,
Lee?
I have no
Yes.
readiness. I just want to say thank you from the community's perspective of your leadership and the selection of this body and appointing you as our manager, having served at least 20 or more years in the county, you know, front and back. I know I was told not to say anything out here, that we could only say something at this, in the back and not out here. But I'm elected by the people of District 3, and they want to hear from us. So I just wanted to say to you, from the community that I represent, they respect you, they admire your leadership, and you and your family and your dedication to what you have decided to give to this community. Thank you so much for being a man of wisdom and of knowledge and a Christian gentleman in the process. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Any other questions, comments? Hearing none, all those in favor, let's see by show of hands. That is unanimous, Madam Clerk. Thank you, everyone. Next item on the agenda is public appearance, but I don't believe we have any speakers. Is that correct, Madam Clerk? All right, since we have no speakers, what we're going to do is move right into appointments. At this time, the chair will entertain nominations for, nominations or appointments are needed on the Human Resource Advisory Committee to fill 4 terms. The HRAC chair recommends William Rothenbach, Nahemi Owen, and George Metz. Are there any nominations?
I nominate all 3 of them.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman.
I second.
Let me go to Commissioner Rodriguez-McDowell.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would like to nominate LaShonda Davis and Jessica Lancaster
Shonda Davis and Jessica Lancaster are nominated.
and Shane Wilson.
And
I have-
who was that? Shane Wilson?
Shane Wilson.
Okay. Commissioner Leek?
I guess it's Jane Addams from District 2.
Janie Adams from District 2. Commissioner Dunlap?
Oh, it's a moot issue.
No point. Right. Any other nominations? All right, hearing none, Madam Clerk, these will come back to us next week to vote, next meeting to vote, correct? Yes, sir. All right, thank you. Do I need to call those names again, or did you get them? I got them all. All right, thank you. All right, at this time, nominations are needed on the Citizens Capital Budget Advisory Committee for 3 terms. Thomas Harris, Adam Kirst, and Haiwen Pang are recommended.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any unreadiness?
I just have a question.
Commissioner Powell?
Thank you. So, for the clerk, will Mr. Levin remain a candidate for the Stormwater Advisory Council?
As long as he doesn't get appointed, yes.
All right, thank you. That's all.
Okay. Any other questions? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. That's unanimous, Madam Clerk. Next, we'll move to Adult Care Home Community Advisory Committee. Reappointment is needed on the Adult Care Home Community Advisory Committee for 2 3-year terms expiring September 30th, 2028. Kendra King and Lesteri Player
So
are
moved.
eligible for reappointment.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any unreadiness? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it, Madam Clerk, that's unanimous. Next item on the agenda, we are going to move to Manager's Report. Mr. Manager.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I have one item under my manager's report. I ask that the chair recognize Lisette Nimmons, our intergovernmental affairs manager. She's going to provide you an update on state and federal legislation. Thank you.
And Ms. Nimmons is recognized. Welcome.
Thank you. Good evening, Chair Durrell, Board of Commissioners, County Manager Bryant, and county staff. Today's agenda includes an overview or update on federal legislation, as well as a state legislative update with a discussion of priority legislation, as well as key provisions. So I'll begin with an overview of what's happening with the government shutdown, as well as a discussion of spending and staffing impact. So Congress failed to pass a continuing resolution, also known as a CR, by September 30th, resulting in a government shutdown. The last CR vote in the Senate before the shutdown was 55 to 45. The main disagreement centers around extension of the Affordable Care Act, enhanced premium tax credit. As of now, the House remains in recess, and the Senate continues to vote and negotiate. Over the weekend, we did not see votes due to the lack of progress with the negotiations. However, on yesterday, the Senate voted, but once again, they rejected Democratic and the Republican proposals to fund the government, so the shutdown continues as of now. Regarding spending, benefits will continue for mandatory programs, but we will likely see delays in processing as many individuals will be focused on renewals as opposed to new applications. And this includes programs such as Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, also known as SNAP, as well as Veteran Affairs Administration. In terms of spending for discretionary programs, the continuation will depend on the type of appropriation. Examples of these programs include Community Development Block Grants, Head Start, the Low-Income Home Energy Assistance Program, and Supplemental Nutrition Program for Women and Infants and Children, also known as WIC. So to dive a little deeper into the discussion on WIC, as of now, the program has not been funded for 2026 due to the shutdown. So current funding that's available is what was drawn down prior to September 30th. We did receive communication from the North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services, and as of now, the WIC program has funding to maintain operations through October 15. So this was 2 weeks from the date of October 1st, the day of the shutdown. We were also notified earlier today that the state has received some additional funding from the U.S. Department of Agriculture, and we are expecting that funding may extend beyond the original 2-week projection, but we cannot provide an update on that timeline as of now. The average WIC participation in Mecklenburg County for federal fiscal year 2025, based on our numbers from Q3, was $26,134 per month. So this is the number of individuals that could potentially be impacted, but the county cannot provide funding in the event that residents experience a disruption in these benefits. In terms of staffing, those in non-essential federal roles are indefinitely furloughed without pay. However, individuals that are in essential roles that are necessary to maintain life, safety, and national security will continue to work without pay. So this includes national defense, air traffic control, emergency response, the United States Postal Service, and the Transportation Security Administration. We do expect these services to operate under a limited capacity due to many choosing not to work, resulting in greater stress and delays in service. I did speak with our county staff, and during the previous 4 shutdowns, our employees were not impacted by furloughs. And again, after our conversations, we've concluded that we will not anticipate an impact during this shutdown. Moving on to our state legislative update. Our priority pieces of legislation include House Bill 307, Arenas Law, House Bill 562, the Healthcare Investment Act, and Senate Bill 403, additional Medicaid funds and requirements. So before I jump into an overview of each, I want to briefly provide an update on what happened during the previous session dates, which were September 22nd through September 24th. The amended adjournment resolution now provides that members may convene up to 4 days, once a month through April 7th, 2026. Previously, they were meeting 1 to 2 days, once a month. The short session will continue as scheduled starting on April 21st, 2026. And the House and Senate will reconvene. Again, their monthly schedule starts October 20th, so they may meet for 4 days during that week, but we will be engaged throughout the remainder of the long session and the short session. So moving on to our priority state legislation, I'll start with House Bill 307, which is Arenas Law. Leadership from the North Carolina General Assembly, including Speaker Destin Hall and President Pro Tempore Phil Berger, held a press conference on September 11th to address the murder of Irina Zarutska on the light rail. And during this press conference, they provided an overview of proposed legislation directly in response to that incident. On Sunday, September 21st, the Senate released an amended version of a House bill that had previously crossed or met the crossover deadline. And then on that Monday, September 22nd, the Senate passed the bill through committee, voted on the floor, and sent the bill to the House for concurrence. The House subsequently concurred, and Governor Stein signed this bill into law on October 3rd. Key provisions to this bill include amendments to various procedures regarding involuntary commitment, modifications to pretrial release guidelines for certain offenses, elimination of written promise to appear as a condition of pretrial release, and funding for 10 additional full-time assistant district attorneys, as well as 5 full-time legal assistants in Mecklenburg County. So I'll first offer specific examples of changes to the IVC procedures. Any person charged with a violent offense and subject to an IVC within the last 3 years, or any person charged with any offense who a judge or magistrate believes is a danger to himself or others, must be examined to determine if there are grounds to petition for an IVC. Moving on to the discussion of specific examples around pretrial release modifications. Aside from defendants charged with a violent offense, a judicial official must impose an unsecured bond or place the defendant in custody of a designated person or organization for supervision, unless that release will not assure that they will appear, it will pose a danger or injury, will result in destruction of evidence, perjury, or intimidation of witnesses. If the judicial official determines that any of these are present, they must impose a secured bond or house arrest and electronic monitoring. In addition, if a defendant has been convicted of 3 or more offenses, each of which is a Class 1 misdemeanor or higher within 10 years prior, the judicial official must impose again, a secured bond or house arrest with electronic monitoring. So the impact here, based on what I've read, is most jurisdictions have a limited number of electronic monitors. And also, secured bonds serve as a surety that an individual may appear, but don't necessarily guarantee public safety. If the written promise to appear is eliminated and an individual cannot post bond, they will remain in custody. So from here, we will see greater reliance on referrals to pretrial release and also more unsecured bonds. There are also indicators that this will increase our population in our local jails. So consideration should be given to what will happen with jail populations when most are overcrowded and already understaffed. Currently, there are 1,510 inmates in the Mecklenburg County Jail, and it is at 95.5% functional capacity. So in determining functional capacity, we're also looking at the operational capacity, which is the number of beds, staff, and budgets. And so based on all those considerations, we are currently deemed at capacity due to the ratio of inmates to staff. Regarding additional funding for district attorneys and assistant positions, approximately $1.6 million in recurring funds and $37,520 in non-recurring funds in the 25-26 fiscal year will be appropriated from the general fund to hire the 10 full-time assistant district attorneys. In addition, $433,000 in recurring funds and $20,990 in non-recurring funds in 25-26 will be appropriated from the general fund for those 5 legal assistant positions. We did engage with Senator Overcash in this effort, and he ensured that this request was included in the bill. I, along with our Public Health Director, Dr. Raynard Washington, and our Criminal Justice Services Director, Sonia Harper, as well as county leadership, engaged with all of our members of the Mecklenburg delegation regarding House Bill 307. We offered suggestions for amendments, and while, as you heard, this process moved very swiftly, and there were not necessarily opportunities to present those amendments, we were fully engaged. I was also in Raleigh during the 2 voting days and had an opportunity to speak with members of our delegation and provide our input on the bill. Our next piece of high priority legislation is House Bill 562. This is the Healthcare Investment Act. So this is the House version of the bill, but the proposed committee substitute before you appropriates $690 million from the general fund for the Medicaid rebase and $49.2 million in recurring funds for Medicaid administration for each year of the fiscal biennium. It also appropriates $34.4 million from the ARPA Temporary Savings Fund for Medicaid administration for the 25-26 fiscal year. In addition, this Senate PCS provides funding for the UNC Children's Hospital and for the North Carolina Cares Health Clinics using funds from the ARPA Temporary Savings. The Senate did send this bill back to the House for concurrence, and it is currently sitting in the House Appropriations Committee. Moving on to Senate Bill 403, additional Medicaid funds and requirements. This is the Senate version of the previous bill I just provided an overview of, and this proposed committee substitute from the House is a clean Medicaid rebase bill, as they're referring to it, and it does not provide funding for the UNC Children's Hospital or the North Carolina Cares Health Clinics. It does appropriate $690 million from the general fund for Medicaid rebates and approximately $38.5 in recurring funds for Medicaid administration for each year of the fiscal biennium. It also appropriates non-recurring funds in the amount of $45.4 million for fiscal year 25-26 and $11.4 million for fiscal year 26-27 for Medicaid administration. The House also sent this bill back to the Senate, and it is sitting in the Senate Rules Committee. So, as mentioned, both of the bills were sent to the opposite chamber for concurrence, but the House will not agree to fund the Children's Hospital, and the Senate does not want to pass their rebates bill without it. So they're currently at an impasse. The Senate argued that the House committed to this funding in the last session. So just to go through what this means in terms of the Medicaid funding, we're currently at a $319 million shortfall, and the additional funding, of course, would reduce that shortfall. As a result, reductions are necessary to ensure that the program remains within the funding levels provided by the General Assembly. A few points I want to make regarding impact are these cuts went into effect on October 1st. They apply to specific procedure codes. These affected services and reductions are also listed on the department's covered codes and fee schedules portal. Nearly every provider will see reimbursements reduced by 3% to 8%, and some, including nursing homes, acute care hospitals, psychiatric residential treatment facilities, may see rates reduced by as much as 10%. So county departments and finance reviewed our revenue sources, and as of now, we do not see a major impact requiring action toward the budget. Moving forward, if the General Assembly decides and acts quickly to support and pass the rebase, the department will take action to reverse the reductions and provide a prompt notification to those involved. So, in conclusion, I know I've covered a lot here, but moving forward, we will continue to monitor the impact of the federal shutdown. We will continue to engage with the General Assembly through long and short session. We will follow the Medicaid funding cuts and the county impact, monitor priority state legislation and pending overrides, and track state agency decisions and updates. Thank you for your time, and I will entertain questions.
Thank you, Lisette. I appreciate it. Commissioner Dunlap, then Commissioner Leak.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I basically have two questions. When you talked about jail capacity, is that based on space, or is that based on the staffing model?
So that is based on the staffing model. So as I mentioned, even though our number is 95.5% right now, we are deemed at capacity because of the ratio of inmates to staff. And Sonia is not here tonight, but I can get the exact number in terms of what that ratio is right now.
So we have the space, but it can't be increased because of the staffing.
Exactly.
All right, I just want to make sure that. The other question is relative to your comment saying that there's no impact on the county. So in these areas where the federal government is no longer going to send the money down to the state, and of course the state down to the county, does that mean that the county is on the hook for those dollars? I mean, there's got to be some kind of financial impact.
So,
Yeah, let me jump in, Chairman Dunlap. A couple of things. As Lisette has mentioned, the county, all counties actually, cannot supplant those funds, even if we wanted to. We do not have the option to offset that reduction. Secondly, when she says there's no impact, that's based on county staff taking a look at the past freezes on the budget, and which has been averaging about 30 to 40 days. And for the most part, we've been held harmless. So if history repeats itself and we don't have another budget within the next 30 or 40 days, we should be okay. But if it goes beyond that, that's when we'll have to have some internal discussions and come back to you and have a different conversation. The other thing I might add is you'll recall back in August, our chair, along with myself and some other staff members, hosted a community-wide meeting where we included some of our partners, such as the food pantry, food shelters. That's when we could leverage those relationships to kind of offset the impact. But again, it doesn't speak to the magnitude of the potential impact if it goes beyond 30 days.
Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you. Commissioner Lee.
Let me first say thank you for your presentation and the information. The concern I have is information that the general public will understand where we are as a county versus with the federal government. And I think our manager just explained to some degree what we can do and what we cannot do. And my concern is about the senior citizens and the needs that they have. Are we going to be able to handle and respond to the needs that we have in the past?
And again, I want to be very transparent that
Yes.
we do not have the option to offset these reductions from the federal government if it comes to fruition.
I hope we understand what you're saying, Mr. Manager,
Understand.
that it's clear that you cannot replace what the federal government does not provide.
That's correct. That's correct. And I also want to be clear that although we do not have that option today, we also don't want to send the community in a state of panic or anything like that. This is simply keeping in front of you the status of where we are with the federal government not having a budget in place, as well as some of the other challenges and uncertainty at the state level. So this is information for you. And as Lisette has noted today, we feel like we're going to be okay. If it goes well beyond 60 or 90 days, we'll have to have a different conversation. So receive this today as information only. Not a concern that we're going to have any layoffs, any cuts, or anything like that. We're not at that place today. And historically, when there has been a budget not put in place by the federal government, we haven't had any impacts as well. Thank you.
Thank you. I wanted to make sure that we're clear and that we understand where we are, where we stand economically, as well as budget time, what we are able to do and not do. Because many people will be asking questions that have already been answered, but we will make reference to this information that you've given to us and what was said to us by the manager tonight. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Townsend Ingram, then Commissioner Rodriguez McDowell.
Thank you so much, Lizette. I just want to say you do a bang-up job, just a fabulous job of keeping us informed, on the Intergovernmental Relations Committee. Thank you to both your staff and to you. Thank you for the strategic plan that you've realigned with county priorities as well as with the Mecklenburg County delegation, because that's no small feat in itself. So I really appreciate that. Two questions. The pre-trial release, does that include individuals who there's a violent felony, or does that include violence and misdemeanors, like if they've committed a misdemeanor, the unsecured bond?
So that does not apply. If you note, I mentioned that these are not applying to violent offenses.
Okay.
So absent violent offenses, what I shared is those are the changes to House Bill 307.
Okay. I just want to say too, that and I understand and I'm very appreciative that there is no impact specifically to the operations for the county, but there is a residual, a privilege that we enjoy, and I say we, having health care coverage, and even having good health care coverage that is not recognized. And I just want to say, even for myself, just today, because of October 1, the BB bill and how it impacts the overflow of it flourishing down. I have a medicine that I have called my wonder drug, my Monjero, went from a copay of $25 to $90. So that's money out of my pocket. You know, if I didn't have my health savings account from the county, I don't really know how I would do that. That's a diabetes medicine. It's not just the GLP-1 for me to lose weight. It has helped with my heart issues, my diabetes, all of that. So there is a residual impact. The impact of people not getting approved for Medicaid, the impact of, it's a difference between being able to get approved and get to the doctor so that you can get the medicine, so that you can keep your job, so that you can, so there's a snowball effect to all of this. So I just want to say, I appreciate the holdout so that we can get the Medicare, the Affordable Care Act funded at its previous level and Medicaid, and I appreciate you staying in the game for us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Rodriguez-McDowell.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Can I ask a question on slide 13, please?
Sure.
I just want to understand the, so it says there's 1.6 million in recurring funds, 37,520 in non-recurring funds, and then it says the same, you know, in the next bullet point that there's recurring and then there's non-recurring. What's the significance of those numbers for the non-recurring?
So the non-recurring means that,
I mean, I know what it means, but
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
why are they, why is there like this little carve out of I don't get why they do that.
yes, and I'm honestly not certain of the distinction and why those amounts are carved out for non-recurring, but happy to do some digging and find out more about that, or why that's the case.
I'll take a guess. Don't hold me to this, but I'll tell you how these numbers show up in our operating budget. Anytime that we add new positions, we have some technology costs that are one-time, as well as supplies and things like that. So obviously that number is much smaller than the baseline recurring cost. So if I had to guess, I suspect that this smaller amount that is non-recurring is associated with adding the new positions and making sure they have the technology and supplies to operate. So we'll confirm that, but that's how it shows up in our budget.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. So that just jumped out at me. Thank you for that. And I guess I am going to, I'm not going to comment on political theater right now. So I think I'm finished, Mr. Chairman. Smart move.
Thank you. Commissioner Griffin.
I love this board. Two observations or questions maybe. With the rebase budget adjustment, I think that included a shortfall of the 319. So providers are actually getting a reduction in various health codes, I think, but explain that piece for me, one, which will have some potential effect in providers providing services. The second question deals with the administrative cost sharing, the implications for that, those two things, Ms. Simmons.
Thank you.
Oh, look
Dr.
at
Rush is
that.
gonna help out.
All righty.
Bringing in the big gun.
Good evening, everybody. So yes, providers today are receiving a 3 to 8% reduction in reimbursement. That's pretty much every Medicaid provider because it's a pretty exhaustive list of CPT codes included in that. So even us at the health department, we're receiving a 3% reduction in our reimbursements. And so that's expected to continue until the entire Medicaid program is fully funded.
Yeah. And cost sharing, not whoever. Administrative cost sharing, because when, is there an impact, or if not, do you anticipate an impact? Because, Mr. Manager, if there is some difference in administrative cost sharing that may have implications for us next budget cycle?
That is potentially correct, yeah.
So, and I don't know if Adrian has any information on that, but I can't say for sure the exact amount. Do you know that?
Can't hear you down here.
Well, no problem. I mean, when you get that information.
So
if you
my
would share.
suspicion is that we're going to get to a place of the Medicaid program being fully funded. And I do believe that the state is going to fully fund the rebates at some point. The problem is if they don't do that sooner or later, then they're going to basically put themselves too far in the hole to be able to figure out how to recover. And so, so that the Medicaid organization, the state NC Medicaid, can actually work to make providers whole, as well as ensure that the total, that there is no implications, for example, to any other conditions that are set in the state Medicaid's contract with the federal government in terms of how much is funded and not funded. I think they'll get to a resolution, but again, if this does extend too long, then the amount of money they have on hand to spend will start to meet their expenses, and they could get to a place where they are not fully meeting their obligations to the federal government in terms of their cost share.
Yeah, one last observation, and that is, right now we're okay, but going into calendar year 26 or going into fiscal year 27, there are some implications if the feds do what they say they're going to, take $1 trillion out of the budget. There will be some negative implications. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Commissioner Powell.
Thank you. Thank you for your presentation and your work with Senator Overcash. So I think my first question is kind of related to Commissioner Dunlap's. So we have more space in the jail, but not enough staff. What is the capacity if we had staff?
I didn't hear your statement.
What is the capacity in the jail if there was enough staff?
I will say, I'll confirm this again with our Director of Criminal Justice Services, but if we wanted to get to 100%, then that would mean that we would need the additional staff to meet that.
And I think these are questions we have to ask out loud, because there's, you know, an expectation that it could happen like that, and it can't.
Mm-hmm.
And so, because of perpetual underfunding coming from the state, now we're in this position where it's excellent that Senator Overcash is making sure that these positions are added, but how many positions are we missing? And so I think it would be good for me to have an awareness of what we're missing and how can I help advocate for that. And I want to, I'm praying Joe Bruno's listening, because Commissioner Leek is right. Like, I'm very concerned about, when I think about what I'm concerned about, I am very concerned about the impact on seniors. I was in a NACO phone call listening to all the national just data, and there are lots of concerns to have. But when I left the meeting, I was most concerned about seniors, especially seniors in memory care facilities and nursing homes and things like that. And then I see a potential 10% decrease in funding.
Mm-hmm.
And so the reason I hope Joe Bruno's listening is because our decision makers need to understand what that means. And if they're not in the nursing homes experiencing what these seniors are going through, they're not making well-informed decisions, because the funding is not there now. And to cut it even more, I just, it's criminal.
They don't care.
I think people care more when they see it. So, I mean, I'm just hoping that our decision makers will visit nursing homes and memory care facilities. And I have a few to take them to if they'd like to go. But anyway, thank you for your work. Just very sad. Thank you.
They care when it impacts them. It's not.
Thank you. Yeah, I don't, it really is so grim to contemplate, you know, the nursing homes, acute care hospitals, and psychiatric residential treatment facilities, already institutions often of despair, where we have extremely vulnerable people. being taken care of by folks who are overworked and underpaid and probably have a lot of, secondary trauma from the work, to cut those rates by 10%. I was writing to our chairman emeritus, trying to understand what is the actual cause of the impasse at the General Assembly. And I'm sure that those leaders there think they have good reasons, but it really is a reminder that when people who are entrusted to take care of the welfare of the public lose sight of making sure that people in psychiatric residential treatment facilities and nursing homes have folks to take care of them, we've just completely lost the plot. And I know I'm preaching to the choir in this room, but I just exhort anyone who has the ear of those individuals to get them back to the table and resolve this. And lastly, I want to thank you, because I am sure that it was in no small part due to your and your team and the whole team's efforts to get 10 full-time assistant district attorneys assigned in an ongoing basis, funded in an ongoing basis for Mecklenburg County, and 5 full-time legal assistants on an ongoing basis to be added. That is enormous. And you deserve tremendous gratitude and praise. That I'm so thrilled with that outcome. So thank you for everything you did to make that possible. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, colleagues, for your comments. Lisette, appreciate the presentation and the advocacy, all the work that you've and the team have been doing. So a couple things that I wanted to lift up. First is, I think I want to tread very lightly when we talk about lack of impact to the county. And I think we should put it and frame it up in a way, Mr. Manager, that, again, I love how you did it. We're talking short term, obviously, but there is an impact even during this time. And I will highlight it from a purview for our small businesses that are in the community. When you take a cut of 3 to 8%, depending on what services that you deliver, there's an immediate impact. So October 1st, besides doctors' offices, and again, we're talking about people that serve our Medicaid recipients, some of our most vulnerable folks within this community who are asked, their reimbursement rates are already low, and then they're asked to take an additional cut. So I want us to frame it up when we talk about no impact. There is an impact.
Of course.
These are folks that are employing people. I could take the therapy space. If you take our community, we have over 500 occupational therapy clinics, small businesses. You have 400 speech clinics. You have 1,000 physical therapy clinics right here in the community, all employing X number of people, and all based on the CPT codes, as you stated, are between 3 and 8%. That excludes doctors' offices, nursing homes, psychiatric facilities. So there's a real impact on hiring. There is an impact on current staff. There's an impact to budgets. There's an impact to revenue. There's purchase of equipment and things of that nature. So again, there's an impact on our local economy. And this is the economic engine as it relates to this state. And so, again, I just felt the need to make sure that we lifted that up. I am glad that from a county staff perspective, certainly we are not feeling the impact, but we also want to be sensitive to the impact of our residents. So that's where I wanted to say, but certainly great work, great comments from the team. Appreciate it.
Before we wrap up, Chair, just want to make sure the board is aware, we will continue to keep this in front of you.
Yeah.
As we learn more about what's going on at the federal level, as well as the state level also. I totally agree in terms of the community impact. And because of this board's fiscal discipline in the past, that's why operationally, as a county, as Mecklenburg County organization, I'm not before you today saying we have to cut our budget.
Right.
that we're going to have to go on a hiring freeze or anything of that nature today, based on what we know. But certainly with respect to the impact on the community, we understand that. And if there is a silver lining, I can't stress enough, and I want to publicly give credit to our partners. Again, the food pantries, the hospitals, all the nonprofits that attended our community collaboration a little over a month ago for this very reason, to try to minimize the potential impact from the BBB and also uncertainty from the state, because although we cannot supplement or offset that reduction as community partners, if any of those reductions in impact come to fruition, at least we can minimize that impact for the at least the near future. So I definitely didn't want to wrap up this item without acknowledging our partners, because pending what the strategies are moving forward, based on the potential impact of this, we cannot get out of this alone. So I just want to give them kudos and say thank you publicly. And also appreciate Lisette's leadership in Raleigh and making sure that we have the information that we need to make informed decisions. With that, that concludes my report.
Thank
Mr.
you.
Chair, and thank you again, Lisette and Dr. Washington.
Thank you all, appreciate it. Glad to see you back, Dr. Washington. Tough trip, huh? All right, moving on in the agenda, we're going to move to the consent agenda. At this time, I'll entertain a motion to approve those items not pulled from consent.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it, Madam Clerk, that's unanimous. We'll move to pull consent. First one is 25-0525, grant application, North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services, Division of Aging. Rush grant is Commissioner Leek and Commissioner Townsend Ingram. Commissioner Leek, let me go to Commissioner Townsend Ingram first, then I'm coming back to you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Okay, I just probably, this is information that is probably known if I dig down further into it, but since I'm a grant person, these are just questions that I had. Is this grant already approved, the $200,000? Has it already been approved and we've got the funds and we're ready to go and just getting permission to expend the funds? Or are we actually applying for the $200,000?
Commissioner YTI, if you look at the responses, number 2 on page, I believe it's 3, you'll see that this action is for permission to apply and allocate the funds if awarded.
Okay, I'm sorry, I missed and that's totally my fault.
It's okay.
Second question, have we identified it, because it's to be used to prevent homelessness or rapidly rehouse those who are homeless? So is this like to supplement a program that we already have? Have we already identified who will be the major recipient to administer the funds, or a waiting list? Is there, since
Sure.
it's restricted to that?
People will be able to contact coordinated entry directly.
Thank you.
Mecklenburg County Community Support Services, which is the agency that will oversee these funds, leads coordinated entry and work to ensure a coordinated, trauma-informed, and person-centered approach to ending homelessness. The funds will be for people who contact coordinated entry when the funding is available. There is no list. Coordinated entry is a standardized community-wide system required by HUD for people experiencing or at risk of homelessness to access housing and support services.
So it basically just goes into a great big old pot of people?
That's right.
Okay.
Yes.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Commissioner Leek.
I pulled this for the very reason the manager is speaking to it now, so that the general public will have the information and we can share this with the community based upon what is given to us by our manager as it relates to the problem of grants. When it says that a grant it has an application, that means we are already applying for it. Am I right, sir?
Correct.
That's
Permission to
exactly
apply
right.
for it.
And the North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services Division of Aging. So I'm excited and hope that it will come through, that we will receive the funds. And it talks about crisis assistance and other agencies that would be a part of this process. So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Moved and seconded.
Should I say, I'm sorry.
You're fine. Moved and seconded. Is there any readiness? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it, Madam Clerk. Next item is 25-0528, decline right of first refusal, Charlotte Mecklenburg Schools property, Hickory Grove Annex. Commissioner Powell?
Thank you. And so if the attorney would just explain why this is required for renting the property.
Well, because the way the deal is structured, Commissioner Powell, it's a 10-year lease, and the way the statute is written, if it's 10 years, it is viewed as a sale. And so they will still maintain the lease, but they want it for 10 years, so the board has to exercise its right of first refusal for the lease to be executed because of the time span of the lease itself.
But they can't sell it.
No, they still own it.
So they would, in
They
the
still have to
event
come
of a
back to the
sale.
board in the future after the 10 years if they wanted to sell it, and we'd have to exercise our right of first refusal again if we choose to.
Okay. All right, just want to make sure we're safe and we're
We
not
are,
selling it. Okay.
absolutely.
Thank you.
Move approval.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it, Madam Clerk. Next item is 25-0532, Government District Parking Deck Marathon Health Lease, Commissioner Leak.
Yes, I pulled this for information for the board and for the community as it relates to the leasing process and what revenue would be generated because of that. So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any unreadiness? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it, Madam Clerk. Last item is 25-0541, Mecklenburg County ABC Board Travel Policy, Commissioner Leak.
I pulled this for information for the general public, those who travel, meaning this board or any board in the interest of the county or the whatever board they represent will be reimbursed. That's part of the process, that's the procedure. So we're following that procedure. Am I right, Mr. Manager?
That's correct.
So that's not a problem. So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Moved and seconded. We have unreadiness. Commissioner Dunlap.
No, I think there should be some further explanation in that when this board policy was originally written, it had in it reimbursement for elected officials, which would make that a conflict of interest.
Yeah.
And so I spoke with them earlier today, and our clerk communicated they changed the wording on the policy so that that is no longer a part of the policy.
Okay.
Let me ask this question back in what he said. Is that now that it does not mean just elected officials, but anybody who represents a board?
You asking me?
Well, you said she,
So what,
information.
It was an error when they were doing the travel policy. They are adopting Mecklenburg County's travel policy, and it was just some wording that was in there that should not have been, so we removed it.
Oh, they just looked at our policy.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so this is for statewide.
It's for the Mecklenburg County ABC Board, but
ABC board.
they were modeling it after Mecklenburg County's travel policy.
Thank you for your correction.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
All right. So it's been moved. It's been seconded. I think it's all comments and discussion. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All right. Ayes have it, Madam Clerk. We're going to move to Commissioner reports. I'm going to start with Commissioner Townsend Ingram.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Didn't want to take the shine from our county manager and our chair, but I really enjoyed going to Grace Mar earlier this week and watching them get the presentation for the digital education of, I think it was, what, $20,000? West Meck students were there. I'm always giddy when I see the students participating, and they had the most fabulous questions. So impressed with them with the questions. Also on Saturday, the Kazan Foundation, along with, well, it was just hosted at Friendship Missionary Baptist Church, my church, another poverty simulation exercise that I went to. This is my second one, Beyond Poverty. I think it's really critically important that we all experience that, because there's a privilege that we have that we don't even know that we have. It's an implicit bias and a privilege. And when you don't have something, that exercise, when you have to move in a certain way and you only have a certain amount of whatever to get to the next station of life or whatever, and even the people who served other people in that area, they said because of the circumstances, panic set in, and they didn't even do it the way they recommended to their clients that they do it. So and there was a lot of emotion in the room. Like, once you get into the scenario, and these were real life scenarios. They weren't from Mecklenburg County, they were from a county in Ohio, but they were real life situations, and we all had roles to play. And it was very emotional, it was very informative, and it made you very appreciative. It really did, you know, because most people, like, even if with us dealing with the big beautiful bill and the Medicaid and all of that stuff, until it impacts you directly, until it impacts somebody you love directly, there's no urgency and there's no need to, you can basically have your own opinions and based on some things that, anyway. Also went to an event on Beatty's Ford Road. That was the opening of Lucille's Kitchen by developer Sean Kennedy. Excellent mood. It was just a great event. And that will benefit so many people looking for reentry and all kinds of things. I want to announce that I will have a Coffee with Commissioner at Coffee Republic Co-working in Huntersville on Thursday, October the 9th from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. And I think Commissioner Griffin is also going to be there at that one. No agenda, just come and tell us what you think. Also going to be working on an initiative called Commissioner's Closet, and I know Kay Timbo is helping me out on that and looking for, and I'll be asking some of our commissioners to contribute, and I'll tell you more about that later. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Powell.
Thank you. So I went to a festival, I was invited to a festival in Cornelius, and when I arrived, Public Health had a tent there. And so it was awesome. I met Aubrielle Wallace, and she's one of our public health employees. And I sat with her. I got a chair in her booth, and we were greeting people. But then I asked her, what her favorite part about her job was. And it was so nice to be with someone so committed to, connecting with the community. And, I almost had tears in my eyes because I thought, oh, gosh, we're so lucky to have so many of our employees, but just a young person who cared so much about connecting people to community resources. And sometimes I feel like I always want our information to be in the right place. It was in the right place. And then Aubrielle had the courage to come up on the stage with me and talk to the crowd about, what the information that we had in the tent. And I'm really glad Dr. Washington is here to hear this because it was just awesome. I think there were at least 2,000 people there, and we kind of got overwhelmed in the public health tent, but it's what it's supposed to be. It's what we are about. So it was awesome. And I have been impacted by the government shutdown. I was traveling in Colorado, and I had all these ideas of things I wanted to see and do, and the National Forest Service wasn't working, and the National Park Service wasn't working, and so it was a huge impact. And, it's just, I hope it ends soon. And that concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Dunlap.
Thank you. I just want to take a moment and thank, first of all, the county and Park and Recreation for its support of our veterans. They had a veterans golf tournament on last Friday. Hundreds of veterans were fellowshipping and playing golf. And I also want to thank our manager and my chairman for its support of Operation Greenlight. We'll be hearing more about that later on. But hopefully we'll do the whole packet deal with the resolution as well, and then notify people when the city will be lit in green. So I'm really excited about that. I want to make sure we get pictures in the NACO magazine and NCACC.
Is that it?
That's it.
All right. Thank you. Commissioner Griffin.
First of all, I want to thank my colleagues on the board for your support in renaming the Garage Center to the Catherine M. Wilson, and thank the manager and all of the county staff. There's so many different departments, I can't even name them all, that participated, either as hostesses, as servers. It was an enormous, just an exciting, kind of emotional event last Saturday, and I certainly want to thank all of those that were involved, and thank the community for showing out. They moved it inside, and it was standing room only. And I do want to thank Commissioner YTI was there, Commissioner Leek was there. I really want to thank the board for taking the courage to do this at this time, given what's going on in the world. Last Thursday, we hosted about 40 Harper Middle College students here. They enjoyed their stay in terms of visiting here, and also the Second Ward gym. But just really want to thank the county staff. And if I start naming names, I'll forget someone, but every department had a role to play, Mr. Manager. And I thought it was just a phenomenal experience. So thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Leek.
You see, this pocketbook is probably about 70 years of age. The woman we named, Mrs. Catherine Wilson, made this and 2 other pocketbooks for me during her tenure as a member of Little Rock AME Zion Church. During the time that this was very popular years ago, and it was very fashionable for us to wear hats and pocketbooks and gloves to church and not come undressed, but we were dressed. And at the affair on Saturday that Mr. Griffin is speaking about was all Charlotte. I felt very much at home with what I saw and what took place. It was I just could not get out of the realm of looking at little boys running around in a facility with suits on, white shirts, and nice neckties, and not dressed like street people or hoodlums or whatever you want to call them. They were dressed appropriately for the occasion. So I felt very much at home. So I say to you, Mr. Griffin, and to this board and to our staff, it was excellent. Old Charlotte was there, and thank you for the opportunity. And I am just grateful that I was able to service the minister's wife of the facility where she attended church. Her whole family was there. So I'm grateful to mention that. But I can't stop without thinking about Saturday night. I want to thank our chairman for representing Mecklenburg County in helping a community in Kannapolis. He served as master of ceremonies. And boy, was I proud. And my chest was bigger than big. I had to lift it up, you know, because I was so excited about our chairperson serving as master of ceremony. And again, let me say to him, thank you, and to our manager who was invited but could not make it, that they're trying to come together to do some things positive in that community. And he represented us well as the master of ceremony. And I'd like for you to speak to it.
Well, with your remaining time, let me say this, Commissioner. One, thank you for those kind words. I really appreciate it. It was an honor. Certainly, you all know anywhere Commissioner Leek goes, she's the main hit. I was the sidekick. I was grateful to be the sidekick. So it was a wonderful night, and thank you for the opportunity, Commissioner.
I thought I was a sidekick there.
You're never the sidekick. Thank you.
But thank you for being there. They're very much, and it was an old line. They had about 800 and some people at this dinner. Didn't expect that many. 800 and some seniors just about attended that affair, and they paid over $100 to be present at this affair. And this young man represented us well. We had nothing to be ashamed of. His English was excellent. He was dressed appropriately, and he spoke with power and represented us well. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Rodriguez-McDowell.
I'm glad I could say that about you.
Thank you.
Commissioner Lee, can I just hold that for a minute?
Of course.
To see
Open
how
it.
heavy it is. Oh, it's not that heavy. It looks really heavy, but it's not.
Open it.
That's very nice. Okay. Sure, let me just open it like that. Okay, wow, it even has a mirror inside.
Always
That's lovely. Well, all right, thank you, that's really, really
That's when we
cool.
wore gloves and pocketbooks to church
That's very-
and hats.
That's really cool. All right, so for my commissioner report, I just want to mention to the community that I have my second of 2 transportation town halls. My first one was September 25th, and we had a really nice turnout. Public information did a great job. I really appreciate Jenny Harper and all of her efforts. Unfortunately, CATS has decided not to participate in the one that's this coming Thursday, but we're still going to move forward and have a community conversation. So I'll still be hosting that at Matthews Town Hall, and that's this Thursday, October 9th at 6 p.m. And I hope that everyone can come out and have a community conversation. So with that, that concludes my report.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Altman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Today is October 7th, and it's still extremely difficult to talk about. Thank you. We lived through history 2 years ago with the terrorist attack. And for my members of my community, this will always be a difficult day. So I want to thank the chairman who gave me the opportunity to speak about it. I wasn't actually prepared to. And actually, I want to thank this whole community. I was talking to someone who lives in England now, an American Jew, and he was saying how very different it is there, that he didn't realize actually what a blessing it is to be Jewish in America, because we do have so many allies, and because it is, this is an amazing country, and it's feeling really different in Europe, like before World War II. So anyway, I want to just recognize that a lot of members of the community have a special pain in their heart today, in remembrance, and we will every year as long as we live from this trauma. And I want to recognize the suffering of all the people in the region and in the conflict. The suffering has been deep and profound across this conflict, and I hope and pray that the peace plan on the table is accepted immediately, and that the hostages are returned home, and that prosperity and dignity and security are returned to every family and every person that lives in that region. And that is my prayer. And thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Altman. Thank you to all my colleagues for your reports. Certainly this day, we haven't forgotten about this day, and thank you for those words of peace for everyone. So, and with that being said, I'm reminded we have a young man that was visiting with us today, and so when you think about all the divisions in the world, and you think about conflict, and you are forced, and we're forced to think about the future. And today I want to thank Commissioner Rodriguez-McDowell, because you blessed us and graced us with the future. I had the opportunity to sit and talk to this young man, and you give us hope. You give us hope for a better world, a day where we resolve differences differently. And someone of your intelligence, we're putting the weight of the world on your shoulders to help us navigate these things in the future. And so at this time, I want to use the rest of my time. If you'll come down, I want you to stand right here in the middle, and I want to take a picture that you can memorialize and that you can have. This is the start of your journey on your public service career here. Kay Tembo, will you help me out? And so, colleagues, if we can squeeze in a little bit, please, as much as we can. Thank you. You're just gonna come right here in the middle, right here. There's Daniel, thank you. Thank you. Hey, man. All right. Fred's gonna have to have something you never forget.
Good to see you.
Excellent. Thank you. Colleagues, thank you for indulging me with that in that moment. I really appreciate it. At this time, that concludes all commissioner reports. At this time, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Meeting adjourned. Thank you.